Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of RageQuitTV. Gonna be casting a game between MaxHitMan and Liquid Jinro. It is a TVZ on Ohana, a map that plays very similar to Cloud Kingdom in terms of the opener for the Terran player, because you can easily secure your second base, then wall the area into your second off, take down these rocks, and then boom, you're on a very easy to defend third base, much like Cloud Kingdom. Very easy for the Terran player to go up on three bases, and kind of suicidal for the Zerg to try to attack the Terran player head on in the early stages of the game, just because it's so easy to defend. It's kind of like Shakura's Plateau in terms of there's only one way into your natural, and then boom, take down these rocks, wall this off, it turns into Cloud Kingdom. So it's like the best of both worlds. So we'll see exactly how Jinro decides to play this, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit to see him to go on like a reacted Hellion expand into a very fast third base, just because going reacted Hellion kind of denies the Zerg player from being able to take their third base, which is way over here, same place as yours, but not so easy to get a drone down this ramp all the way on over to take that third base when you have 4 Hellions just sitting at the bottom of here waiting for that to come down. And also the creep spread is very nice. Hitman is going to be scouting, going to get into Jinro's base, see one barracks, sees another SCV start leaving to attack that drone, yeah. Goes down, kind of gets a count on those SCVs. And now he probably knows that it is not a 2-racks play, just because he can quickly and easily count those SCVs by just looking at the mining pairs if you're new. If you're an experienced player, you can just kind of take a mental picture and instantly know. But if you're like me, you just look, say, okay, there's a mining pair, that's 2, that's 2, that's 2, that's 2, and then the other ones would be 1. Very easy to get a count on SCVs by just looking at the mining pairs, because there's not going to be 3 SCVs mining 1 mineral patch at this stage of the game. The SCV is going to be getting into the Zerg player's base, see the spawning pool, and also doesn't see any gas just yet. So now he knows he doesn't have to worry about any immediate speedlings, because the gas isn't going to be there when the pool does finish. And Jinro just going to be staying alive. There's nothing really to scare him. And there we go. He sees the gas timing, so now he knows when speed will be finished. And that is key, because that means if your Hellions do a run-by, you want to make sure it happens before that speed does finish. And looking at this, the gas is going to be finishing around 340. I think it takes about a minute to mine 100 gas. So we'll see at like 440 if that's when the 100 gas does finish. And I believe, yeah, it'll be right around 440. And then Jinro should know, okay, probably around 530 I should be starting to worry about speedlings. The SCV is going to start leaving the base, and now just going to be hiding right here, going to check the third base. He wants to stay around here just for a little bit. Is he going to perk his SCV? Yes, he is. He wants to go in and check out this gas around the 440 mark, because if he sees the drone still mining gas, that means Hitman may be going for an incredibly fast layer, maybe going in for some type of all-in. The speed does start right around the 435 mark. And now Jinro's SCV, where'd it go? Oh, it's still hiding right here over at the third base. Okay. He's not going in just yet. Maybe a small misstep. We do have the drones pulled off gas, just leaving one on, mining that gas. So, in case he needs banelings or roaches, he will be able to get to them. Very common to see a Zerg player just leave one drone on gas. And that does kind of hint that it's just for like a defensive purpose, or maybe a slightly faster layer. But mainly just for defensive purposes, because if he needs banelings, he's going to be able to get banelings. Jinro now going in for that delayed scout, going to be coming in, and his main thing is just to look at this gas, sees one drone mining, and now sees the layer not moving, which means, okay, he did go for speed. If this was like Cats playing, Cats would have got this layer, then got the speed, and Jinro's delayed scout would have saw that. And Jinro now getting Hellions out. These are going to be the first 2 out on the map. One Ling is going to be coming in, just checking this third base out. And Jinro has started the wall off with a bunker and supply depot up here. The Zerg player hasn't taken his third base yet, just using his queen is going to get a third, and no fourth queen, just going to get a third queen out, and not going to get a fourth most likely, because yes, he does want that layer. Now going up immediately on 4 gases. This does hint towards mutaless play, just getting all those gases so early, because as soon as the layer finishes, you need a lot of gas to tech into mutas. One Ling does burn to a crisp. And will Jinro end up moving out with SCVs? It doesn't, I mean, with not SCVs, with Marines. And it looks like, no, he won't. Cute spot for this command center just to kind of wall this area off while it does build. Gets a supply depot right here, and because of the command center being here, this is completely walled off. Going into the work account is 30 SCVs, 2 45 drones, 4 Hellions now just poking their way up, sees the Queen, takes out that one creep tumor, and now is going to be just going on back. Nice job taking out the creep tumor, wasting 25 Queen energy so far. And one Hellion going to be staying. The one that is full on HP does go to the watchtower, and looks like he is going to be taking the one in the yellow as well. The very injured one at 2 HP. Going to be staying way, way back. May bring it back home to repair. And yes, the SCV is out of this wall to repair this Hellion on up. And Ling's are going to be taking out these rocks just because he knows Jinro kind of has a lockdown on this area. Another creep tumor does get placed. And Jinro's third base now done, going into an orbital command. The siege tech is almost done, and the siege tank going to siege up on this high ground. Very safe spot for the siege tank to be. But we do have the layer finished. The spire is about halfway done. You can see that gas just now starting to stack up. He's probably going to have, I'd say, around 700 gas when that spire does finish, which means he can go for 6 mutas and an upgrade, or just 7 mutas. And that Ling does get taken out. Another Ling is going in, just wants to get a scout on, going to hold this watchtower. Wouldn't surprise me. Well, he has such a good overlord spread, he doesn't really have to keep checking in anywhere. This one Ling is going to see that there is no third base yet. And Burrow just about done. Another 20 seconds, these rocks will take more than 20 seconds to go down, so it looks like he will get a Burrow Ling in, and 7 meters on the way. We do have the hatch now about to be taking that third base. He does need to go very quickly up to 4 bases if he wants to be able to go with Muta and Tech at the same time, because Mutas are so gas heavy. Unlike Infestors, Mutalisks are going to die. There's no way around that. So when Mutas die, you have to rebuild your Mutas, which means you have to use more and more gas on your Mutalisks. He is going to be getting that Zerg Flying Attack upgrade level 1 now. But he really needs to go up on the 4 bases just so he has the gas to keep building these mutas and tech at the same time. Jinro knows that mutas are out, has plenty of missile turrets. Did he use a scan? Yes, he did. He did scan and saw this bio completed. So he knew when the mutas were coming in, had missile turrets waiting. I think that scan did go down at like 10:30 or 10:45. That is kind of the standardish time to scan if you didn't do any pressure. That is the time most players will scan, if they are going to scan. 3 more overlords coming out for Hitman. Because, well, he's not supply capped yet, but he is very close to being supply capped. And there we go, a relatively fast 4th base. I don't know if I agree with this 4th base, just because it is pretty close to the Terran player in terms of going for this base. This base a little bit tucked away further. But Hitman does have the complete map control with these mutas. Not going to try to do any harassment with them, just using them to ensure that Jinro doesn't move out. And with this insane overlord spread, look at his vision. That is just absolutely ridiculous. There's no way that Jinro could even think about dropping Hitman right now. Mutas coming in, going to see those 2 SCVs, pick them both off, and there we go. Both SCVs do go down, delaying those 2 missile turrets. And trying to creep spread at the same time, this is very hard to do with Muta play, just because Mutas require a lot of APM, and maybe that's why he is not really being too aggressive with them. And especially, he's going Mutalisk play with his inject method being hotkeying each hatch individually. This is the slowest inject method there is, which means that it's going to be very hard to focus a lot on these mutas. He's got to hit 5-5, click a queen, 6-6, click a queen, 7-7, click a queen, and probably 4-4. Where does this go? Doesn't go back to his main. Maybe he has that on like F3 or something to go back in and click on 2 queens to do these injects. But Muta play generally hard to keep up with the injects, especially with that method. The backspace method, definitely very handy when you're going with this Muta play. At the same time, we do have Hitman trying to create, but I can't wait. We can just look at his APM right now. Not that shabby. And there we go, the 4th base is up. And what I would love to see players do, actually start taking their gases when this fourth base is about halfway done, just so they have the gas immediately ready. And here we go, Baneley's going to be rolling on in, but those tanks are going to scare them off. Or, yeah, the tanks. There are two tanks. 2-2 on Jinro, 1-0 right now for Hitman on both his melee attack and his flying attack. He does have +2 melee attack and ground carapace on the way with more lings and infestation, but as well, but these mutas not really doing all that harassment. And maybe that's just because Hitman is focused on getting all his injects and just taking up to a hive, and again, using these mutas just to deny any form of drop harassment. Getting a lot of banelings, and I don't know if I agree with that. Getting banelings over infestors is smart if you see like 8 or 9 medevacs. Once the medevacs get that high, then infestors may not do that much. You may want to go for banelings, because they're just not going to have a lot of tanks if they spend all that gas on those medevacs. Or they're not going to have upgrades. One or the other. We do have 3-3 on the way for Jinro. 2-1 still on the way for Zerg player. Pathogen Glands is about halfway done, so now he can start that infestor production. Jinro is moving out. And with Muta play, you should use a lot more Baneling Bombs. They are very effective, because even if the Tan player kind of passes over them once, you always can try to get the Marines to chase your mutas and go over a Baneling Bomb. Hitman has a lot of units right there, just kind of waiting for Jinro to overextend. And here we go, Baneling's going to be storming on in. We have units coming in from both sides. Baneling's storming down, taking out those tanks. It looked like he was kind of tugged in on those tanks, but Jinro is going to be holding this with, well, not Jinro, Hitman is going to be holding this with all of his Banelings. Jinro now at 131 supply to Hitman's 154. Hitman stacking 3k and 1k. Jinro just stacking 1k gas, 500 minerals. Jinro definitely not in a good situation, but somehow sneaks a drop relatively far, but those mutas are on a course. This medevac's time is almost near that overload spread. Just too good. Hitman now finally going into some infestors. Jinro going to be doing round number 2. And a lot of Banelings were lost the last time. Now there's just a handful of Banelings, and they don't have that good of upgrades. Jinro with some nice Marine splitting, taking out a handful of Banelings with just like 4 or 5 Marines. And now he is completely safe to walk up this ramp. Again, no Baneling landmines. And that Infestor needs to get a fungal growth off, but just missed it while those Marines were clumped up. Now Jinro going to be splitting it. It's going to be 3 base Zerg to a 3 base Terran very shortly, as I don't know if a Zerg player can hold this, but he is up on Hive Tech, should just get on Greater Spire and kind of just absorb the Terran player. Again, he is going to be trying to go in, gets that surround, a Fung Growth goes off on the drains, does manage to clean up Jinro's force, and this base does live, so I was wrong. Hitman with those surrounds being very effective. Lings coming in, and I don't see wings on those Lings, do I? Maybe they do. They should have wings. Yeah, they do. Okay. Just a weird graphic setting. I was like, they're running pretty fast, but, yep. Of course, he does have speed. He did, rush that speed, kinda. Forgot all about that. It's kinda odd that I didn't see the wings on those Lings. But definitely there now that we look. Hitman just gonna be backing on off. We do have Jinro still happy on 3 bases. He's really got to start thinking about taking a 4th base, as a Zerg player now going to be starting to even up on upgrades. Has 3-2 on the way with this Adrenal Glands, +2 for the mech on the way. Jinro going to be pushing back and trying to take this 1 base, but the Zerg player got his Greater Hive, or Greater Spire, about halfway done. So he is going to start building those Corruptors out, as we do see 6 on the way, so he can go up into Broodlords. But Jinro, anticipating this, threw down the scan, sees the Greater Spire, has already started Vikings, and now the Zerg player finally going to be taking his 5th base. And he's been stacked on like 2k minerals this whole game, so that 5th base could have come much, much earlier, and that would have opened up more gas, so when this Greater Spire does hit, he doesn't starve himself for gas immediately. Infestors coming in. Jinro going to try another time to take this 1 base out. Marines trying to split off. Those Infestors getting a little bit close. Big Phone Growth goes down on everything. A lot of Marines will be taken out, but there are a handful of medevacs that are keeping a lot of Marines alive. These mutas Only at 1-0 still against these 3-3 Marines, and that is not a good situation one bit, especially with all these medevacs in the back. These few Marines are going to be healed through these Spine Claws, taking them all out. We do have a bunch of Lings being built at this one base. Those are not going to be... well, maybe they'll come out. 2 Vikings out for Jinro. We do have Brood Lords morphing in, 3 more Corruptors. No Corruptors on the field, so he is kind of skipping out on anti-air. Those Vikings, those 2 or 3 Vikings may be enough to take out all of these Brood Lords. There's relatively no anti-air. The Vikings don't have any upgrades. Brood Lords only at 1-0, and 2 Vikings going to start leading the way. And with this, will they be able to take that out? Transfuse going down on those Brood Lords. We can see not much anti-air. There's Infestors coming in, trying to fungal growth those Vikings. But he doesn't really have enough Infestors. It's either fungal growth the Vikings or fungal growth the Marines. Either way, you're going to lose the Brood Lords, and there goes the GG. So we'll kind of look at that again. The Brood Lords did come out, but because he delayed his 5th base for so long, he didn't have that much. And also losing the 3 Infestors over here, that was huge. Maybe it was more than 3. How many does he lose right here? Because this could be bad. Chasing his Marines all the way back to get off beautiful fungals. But losing those Infestors definitely maybe also what cost him the game. So we'll skip ahead a little bit. So this is one of those odd situations. You got your Brood Lords. You got some Queens to transfuse them. That's cool. You have 4 Mutas for anti-air. They have a Thor out that's at +2. Your Mutas aren't even at full health, so those are just going to go down. You can't count those as anti-air. You have 3 Infestors. Now, you have 2 things. You can fungal growth the Marines, but the medevacs are going to heal them, so you have to get like 4 or 5 fungals, which you don't have. Or just enough fungals to kind of keep them from moving and let your Brood Lords kill them. Or you can fungal growth the Vikings. You can only fungal growth one of the 2 things because you don't have enough Infestors to fungal growth everything. If you don't fungal growth the Vikings, your Brood Lords are going to die. You don't fungal growth the Marines, you don't have a ground force that is going to be able to kill the Marines, which means the Marines get underneath your Brood Lords and just do devastating amounts of damage. Ready? So those Lings are going to be coming in. And what he needed to do, he needed to kind of stay back with those Lings until the Vikings were dead. If that's what he was going to fungal growth, the Vikings, then the Lings should not be going in until the Vikings are dead. Just because that means he has a chance to now back off with his Brood Lords. The Lings are kind of there to prevent the Marines from attacking the Brood Lords. They're not there to just kill the Marines, because look at how good of a job they're doing. They're doing a horrible job at just killing those Marines. So they should really be there to prevent the Marines from attacking the Brood Lords. Sacrificing them in right now solves absolutely nothing. And now there's 2 Infestors. I don't know what they are thinking. A little bit sloppy on that Infestor control. And again, when you have 8 medevacs out, or your opponent has 8 medevacs out, you can't really be happy with just 1 fungal growth. 1 fungal growth is a complete and utter waste just because the medevacs are going to be able to out-heal it. When there's like 1 medevac per unit you're fungaling, if that kind of makes sense, you're going to do no damage. The medevacs are just going to out-heal that. Even if there's like 1 medevac for every 2 Marines that you hit in that fungal growth, it's not going to do much. So that's kind of my thoughts on that final battle. If the Zerg player instead had this 5th base up much, much earlier, keep in mind every minute is about 200 gas, I want to say, or maybe 300 gas. I think every minute is 250 gas. I think that's kind of how we should call it. So how many gases do we have mining? Are these mining? 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. So we got 8 gases. And we'll go over to the income. You can make your guess now. I'm going to be saying, I'm Around 920. That's my guess. I know I said 250 every 2 gases. It's really like 119 mineral gas per minute, I think, per gas. Some odd number like that. Gas income, 928. Relatively close. So 200 gas. So let's say, when did we stack? Let's go. He's kind of got map control here, and he's kind of stacking a lot of minerals. Right now, he's a little bit mineral heavy. So right now, take this gas. 6 minutes pass, then suddenly he has 1,200 more gas. Let's go into this. So 400 gas, 1,800 minerals. What'd I say? 1,200, so this would be 1,700 gas, 1,700 minerals. That would balance out perfectly. So, really, you guys start thinking about taking those gases because getting them out that early really does help. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast, and we are not done yet, actually. We have SC2 gears to look into. So, let's go into SC2 gears. That is not SC2 gears. That is a really old thing from back when I did live casting. And XSplit won't switch scenes, so we won't be doing SC2 gears. XSplit being a little bit buggy. So take care, guys. Hope you enjoy the cast. And try to stop this. The awkward moment when you can't stop from broadcasting. Still can't stop. There we go.